It has been a total team effort by the Cardinals as they surge towards the National League Central crown. A different hero emerges game after game and leading these Redbirds to victory. Who will be the hero tonight? Find out next on Fox Sports Net. After an 11-4 victory last night here in Colorado, the magic number is down to 5 heading into play this evening at Coors Field. It's game 2 of this 3-game set, Cards and Rockies on Fox Sports Net. With Al, I'm Dan. Welcome to Cardinals baseball. Magic number could be down to 3 before the night is over. And we talk about contributions during the pregame show, and last night it was So Taguchi's turn.
You know what? Every night it is somebody new. Who is it going to be tonight? But in the last 11 victories, we've had 10 different game-winning RBIs. The regulars have been doing it, but of those 10 different guys, only 4 regulars and 6 bench guys.
And how about the call-ups? Ivan Cruz, Delgado against Kerry Wood, and then last night, So Taguchi, and he's hitting close to 500.
455 for So Taguchi. He had 2 hits again last night. And you know what? There's no way to bring a team together by having these bench guys or September call-ups being part of victories.
Arguably the best pitcher in the second half of the Cardinals has been Andy Benes. He'll go here tonight.
He'll go here tonight. He just keeps on going strong. He said he's going to throw a lot of fastballs, and he'll take his chances. Keep the ball down, though.
So it's Andy Benes. He is 5-4. Yes, please keep the ball down. Andy Benes 5-4 for St. Louis against the Colorado Rockies. It is game 2 of this 3-game set. The magic number could be down to 3 after tonight. Cardinals baseball is coming up. Cardinal baseball on Fox Sports Net from Colorado is brought to you by Budweiser, delivering beer at its best with a crisp, clean, and refreshing taste known only to the king of beers. By your local Chrysler and Jeep dealers, the official automotive sponsor of the Cardinals on Fox Sports Net. By Dobbs Tire and Auto Center, St. Louis's #1 choice for tires and automotive service. By Pennzoil, protection under the toughest conditions. And by Southwest Airlines, bringing people together with low fares. Rain is falling here in Colorado. Interrupted the Cardinals BP earlier today. Showers off and on here tonight, but we expect to get this one in. Cards and Rockies here in Denver. Houston, by the way, leading their game 2-0 over Milwaukee. There's Bob Knight. Was good friends with Barry Weinberg and Tony La Russa. So the Cardinals ownership down there. As the Cardinals magic number has been reduced to 5 after a win last night. Well, the umpires now are on the scene and waiting for the, this is our rain time lapse, and this is what you could see what happened during BP, and they put the tarp down on the field very quickly. It looks like the Rockies are going to take to the field. The rain is still falling here in Colorado. And we should get this one in and start it on time.
Yeah, it's snowing above the 8,000-foot level right now in the Rockies, but 50% chance of rain, thunderstorms, and I think it must be going to be moving along pretty soon. I think it was Tony or Chuck Knight making the batting order out tonight.
Bob Knight.
I mean, Bob Knight. We know who Chuck Knight is, too.
We like him, too. Vina, Drew, Edmonds, Pujols, Rolen, Martinez, Renteria, Matheny, and Benes. The Cardinals lineup brought to you by Southwest Airlines. 10 Grand Slams for Tino Martinez. 8 consecutive years with a Grand Slam. Capped off a big inning for St. Louis as the Redbirds won 11-4. Let's go around the horn. It's brought to you by Dobbs, a Gold Glove last year for Todd Helton. Ortiz has been the everyday second baseman for Colorado. Zio broke into the big leagues in '89 with St. Louis. Uribe is the shortstop, 26 errors. Ben Petrick, a former catcher, is out and left. Juan Pierre, a speedster, is in center field. Back-to-back 40-plus stolen bases this year. And last, then you see Larry Walker, 6 Gold Gloves. Bennett is behind the plate. Gary Bennett on the mound. This guy's been a surprise. 27-year-old rookie, so he's a youngster, but not really. Denny Stark.
Well, but you see a 10-game, and they have 2 rookies that are 10-game. He's been outstanding here at Coors Field. 19 appearances, 11 starts at Coors. Denny is 8-1, ERA of 3.12. He's got a very good sinking fastball. He's got a slider that he'll throw to the right-handers. They got to lay off that pitch. And to the left-handers, his breaking ball is basically a changeup.
He is our Chrysler Jeep starter for Colorado. There's Tony La Russa. His team now the magic number down to 5. And we talk about Andy Benes. He will make the start for St. Louis here tonight. Let's go to our What's on Tap. And beginning Friday, every game during the remainder of the season will be televised. But we want to make sure that you understand the game on Saturday specifically is going to be starting at the original start time, Al. Is that right? 3 o'clock?
Right. 3:10. It'll be on KTVI. Fox will televise that, but it'll be a 3 o'clock. They'll come on the air. 3:10 first pitch.
So make sure that you're down at the ballpark. I know it had been announced a noon start, but that's not the case on Saturday, 3 o'clock. What's on Tap brought to you by Budweiser, delivering beer at its best with a crisp, clean, and refreshing taste known only to the king of beers. Fernando Vina to lead things off for the Cardinals here in Colorado. It'll be Vina, J.D. Drew, and Jim Edmonds for St. Louis. Rain is falling here in this first inning, and that's popped high in the air, deep left field. Petrick going back near the track and has got it. 1 pitch and 1 out. Good to see Fernando back in the lineup. Away on personal matters last night. 11:08, by the way. Excuse me, 7:08 for Fernando Vina to lead this off. And here's J.D. Drew at 261. Went to Vail, Colorado yesterday to get that knee checked on, and everything was fine for J.D. So he's in the starting lineup here tonight. Stark will go right after you. He's very aggressive. That's one of the keys to pitching here at Coors Field.
Yeah, you really don't want to nibble because you've got to be aggressive and you've got to throw strikes. Talking with Clint Hurdle today, he said, I asked him about some of the managerial tendencies here, and he felt that with 3 good guys at the end of his bullpen, he always looked at really 6 innings.
High fly ball, deep right field. Walker going back, and he's got it.
6 innings from his starter, and sometimes even 5, but he'll go to the bullpen when he's got Jones and Spires, and then close out with Jose Jimenez.
What a story Jimenez has been. 40 saves.
40 saves, and they have 69 wins on the season. Of course, these 2 rookies, Stark and tomorrow's starter Jennings, they've accounted for about 39% of their wins.
And very successful here at Coors Field. Here's Edmonds, 1 for 2 last night, a pair of walks. Spins away from a fastball. 2 outs, nobody on here in the first.
Hey, that's the game plan with Jim Edmonds. Last night he had a bit inside.
Wearing that 57 wristband on the forearm is Jim Edmonds. Hits home when you're here in Colorado for both these teams. What do you think about Darryl Kyle? Home games 8-1. How about that with the ERA barely over 3? Jimenez, you knew that he could have success as a closer, and he's perfect for this kind of situation with that very good sinker that he possesses. 3-0 here on Jim Edmonds with Albert Pujols on deck. First inning last night, first 2 up and then 2 down. Then there was a walk to Edmonds, and Pujols made him pay with a double. 3-1. And we saw the home run by Scott Rolen to make it 3-0.
Stark was born and resides in Edgerton, Ohio. He's 27, 6'2", 210.
Full count.
He's acquired from Seattle along with lefty Brian Fuentes and right-hander Jose Paniagua for infielder Jeff Cirillo.
3 balls and 2 strikes on Jim Edmonds. Pujols is on deck, and Jimmy draws a walk. Virtual manager here tonight. Log on to foxsports.com. On Lycos, keyword is virtual manager. When will the Cardinals clinch the Central? Magic number is at 5. Houston leading their game here tonight 2-0 early on against Milwaukee at Miller Park.
What if I want Friday?
You want Friday?
Yeah. Don't give me that option?
No. You're out in the cold,
It
Al.
could happen as early as Friday.
Right. My guess was Sunday. Of course, this weekend Houston will be in town. Be nice to do it against the Astros.
Well, it should be. I mean, they're a very good ball club, but you do it against them, and nobody claims that you back into it, which was an impossible statement anyway.
2 balls and no strikes on Albert Pujols after the walk to Jim Edmonds. Scott Rolen is on deck.
You know, and the Cardinals aren't exactly backing into it. Winners of 11 of their last 13 games, 16 of 21. They're 11-4 in September and 40-25 since the All-Star break.
Had that 7-game losing streak, and that's when Houston got hot, got back in the race. They've been one of the better teams in the second half, but then the Cardinals went 28-12 since then. 2 balls and a strike on Pujols. 2-hit night last night.
3 RBIs last night.
Still trailing Lance Berkman in that department.
Right. Houston is leading 2-0 in the 4th inning over Milwaukee, but Houston contained Albert, and even last night at times they got him out. It was really the off-speed stuff and had him way out in front.
2-1 the count on Pujols. Still drizzling here in Colorado. High in the air down the right field line and out of play.
Yes, there's a few empty seats tonight.
Rain was forecast here tonight. Not many folks here.
And it's
chilly too.
Different sight when you saw the end of last night's game. Virtually all Cardinal fans.
2-2 the count on Pujols. Berkman, by the way, 123 RBIs. Albert comes in with 118. Pat Burrell 113 for the Phillies. Full count.
Albert has maintained the most RBIs in the National League since the All-Star break.
This will be pitch number 16, by the way, after getting the first 2 men for Denny Stark.
It's one of the things, if you can get into a bullpen early, and particularly before you get to the end of the bullpen, where most teams are fairly strong.
Full count here on Pujols. There goes Edmonds. Hit towards short. Juan Uribe, long looping throw over to Todd Helton. And the Cardinals strand him in. Andy Bennis out to the mound when we come back. 9th year overall for Clint Hurdle in this organization for Colorado. He's now the manager. Took over for Buddy Bell. Look at his lineup, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Pierre Petrick, Helton, Walker, Zeal, Ortiz, Bennett, Uribe, and Stark. 2 for 13 for Walker in his last 5. Around the Horn is brought to you by Dobbs. Tino Martinez, the grand slam last night. He's at first base. Fernando Vina back in the lineup. He's at second. Scott Rolen, 3-time Gold Glover, is the third baseman. Edgar Renteria at short for St. Louis, 18 errors on the year. Albert Pujols is out left. Edmonds is in center. J.D. Drew is start tonight in right field, and Mike Matheny is behind the plate for St. Louis. Our Chrysler Jeep starter is Andy Bennis, one of the best pitchers in this second half for St. Louis.
Well, he's really pitched extremely well since coming off the disabled list. 5-2 with a 2.21 ERA during that time, and has held the opposition to a 200 batting average. His ERA has dropped from 10.80 to its current 3.30 since his return.
Here's Pierre. He can fly and bunts it foul. Juan Pierre, 43 stolen bases, back-to-back 40 stolen base seasons here in Colorado. 3rd season with the Rockies.
He has 21 bunt singles this season and 48 infield hits, which is second most in the major leagues to the 52 by Ichiro.
This year, 149 hits. A year ago, 200 plus. He will slap it the other way and then take off. He falls behind 0-2.
He almost shows bunt so early, almost like he's sacrificing, and then relies on those wheels.
Rolen is even with the bag, still on 0-2, and that just missed inside. A ball and 2 strikes, and Juan Pierre, 202 hits a year ago. Rockies thought that speed would be the key out in the outfield. So they got Juan Pierre in the fold. Lines it up the middle for a base hit. Andy Bennis is looking down at his glove. He thought he should have had it. Leadoff base hit for Juan Pierre.
This is not a very good club, and Rockies know it. But watch this. You can at least have a little more respect for the game. 26 errors. You lob it over there. That accounts for a lot of them. Play the game and play it right.
First hit in this ball game by Pierre. He's at first. 43 stolen bases. And here's Petrick, former catcher, now playing the outfield for Colorado. Ben Petrick.
Petrick's been his third stint with the ball club. Rockies opening day roster sent down on May 16th. Returned July 5th. Going to return to AAA.
There he goes. He'll test Matheny. Throw to second. They got him. Boy, did Matheny have to be quick, and he was.
Well, Mike Matheny, if you give him a chance to throw somebody out, he will do so. 28% this year, but that's way down. But a lot of times they're stealing off the pitcher. But Andy does a good job to keep him in check and then let Mike Matheny do the rest of it. Going in there.
Hit it at deep center field. Edmonds going back, looking up. It is gone. Home run. Petrick. Dead center field, and Petrick puts Colorado on the board. His third home run and just his 7th RBI. Ben Petrick, the home run, a solo shot, and it's 1-0 Colorado.
When he was down at AAA, he hit 16 home runs, so 19 on the year when you add the 3 here. Pitch was up over the middle of the plate, and Jim Edmonds can only look up and see it go into the shrubbery out there in the Rockies. You got to keep the ball down. See, that's in that danger zone. Above that is a pitcher will get the pop-up or swing through, but right there they'll crush it.
Helton crushes this one into right center field. That's got a shot. That's off the wall. Helton is going to dig for 2. 3 consecutive hits here for Colorado to start this game against Andy Bennis, and that pitch was up.
Well, they only lacked for the triple from hitting for the cycle, but you know, Andy has been so good, and they're missing location, throwing strikes. Andy said he was going to. I kind of questioned a little bit. He said last time he threw 85 fastballs, 5 off-speed pitches, and he said I went 7 innings.
Ford Key matchup before the break. ERA of 10.80, and how about after the break? 5-2, and barely over 2 is the ERA for Andy Bennis.
And this is 22nd start against the Rockies. In his career, he's 9-8 with a 4.53 career mark against the Rockies. 3-3, but just over 7 in 8 appearances here at Coors Field.
Here's Larry Walker. 2-0. Walker 1 RBI shy of 100. Not the kind of start that Andy Bennis was looking for here tonight. Already down 1-0 still. The Cardinals trailing in this ball game. First time that Colorado has led in this series.
Larry Walker now is just about all-time Canadian leader in every offensive category. Games, ABs, runs, hits, doubles, triples, home runs, RBIs, stolen bases, and walks.
Came up with Montreal in 1989, 6 years with the Expos. Signed with Colorado in 1995.
And battling a sore shoulder. Is still one of the most complete players in the National League.
3 balls and a strike on Walker. Don't mind seeing that walk, really, with Larry Walker at the plate. It brings in Todd Zeile. Zeile came up with the Cardinals in 1989. A lot of times you'll see Todd Zeile take that first pitch. fall behind in a count. We talked about it last night. All the different teams he's played with. Started with the Cardinals, the Cubs, Phillies, Baltimore, Los Angeles, Florida, Texas, the Mets, and now here with Colorado in his first season.
Tied a major league record this year, homering with 9 different uniforms. And he also made his pitching debut last week. Pretty good one,
too. Frame. Yeah, he had a strikeout.
He gave up a base hit, got a double play, and then the punch out. Said he imitated about 4 former pitchers.
2-0.
Eckersley, Charlie Huff. I think who else he said? He's throwing knuckleballs.
Todd Zeile has hit into 27 double plays, and that's tied for the league lead. See if Andy can't get a double play here. 2 balls and a strike. First and second, 1 out. He's tied with Brad Ausmus in that dubious department in the National League. 2-1 the count on Zeile. 3-1. Andy doesn't look very sharp here tonight.
No, but you get out of this frame and hopefully with a double play in the next pitch, kind of regroup. But early going, really struggling trying to get the ball down.
Ortiz is on deck. 3 balls and a strike. Rain still falling here in Denver.
Not the best mound conditions for Andy and that sore knee.
A strike on the inside corner. Good pitch. Full count.
It's been a part of his success also, pitching more inside, keeping the ball down, utilizing that split finger pitch. I think just going out there and having fun and saying, hey, if this is the last hurrah, well, hoorah for me.
Hit into center field. The runners were off with the pitch. Melton trying to get back to tag up. He'll test Edmonds, and a strong throw from Jimmy. 2 outs.
Todd trying to look down and figure out what the signs are. Can't see what they are. Toby Hara, third base coach there. Slower, Toby.
So the Rockies opening day second baseman Jose Ortiz played third base and a little shortstop this year as well.
He's had hamstrings and also knee surgery.
First and second, 2 outs. That pitch was up in the zone.
Jim Edmonds, see, knows that's a high pop-up. He's checking to see where the outfield, where the runners are. Gets his momentum coming forward, makes that throw, and just assumes that they're going to be running. That way you're not caught flat-footed or you're not caught holding the ball when they take off.
Runners were off with that pitch. Had to go back and tag up.
But he was checking to see, make sure, and saw that they were going back. So go to third instead of second.
1 ball, 1 strike. In the dirt, a block by Matheny. 2-1. Now 3-0 Houston leading Milwaukee. 4th inning at Miller Park. Catcher Bennett is on deck. Cardinals were 11-4 winners here last night. Rain has picked up.
The pace hasn't.
No, it has not.
Well, we knew without the rain that it was going to be a sparse crowd. As the high was 67 today. Just deteriorated as the day went along, and the low will be 48.
And that's a walk. So the base is loaded here for Gary Bennett. Second walk handed out by Andy Bennis. And he's allowed 3 hits here in this first inning. 2 outs, bases loaded for Bennett. The Rockies leading already 1-0.
But with one good pitch, he's out of the inning with just the 1 run scored, and they'll be losing a golden opportunity with 3 hits, 2 walks, and one of the hits a double and another a home run. This will be his 25th pitch. Coming up here, the first one to Bennett.
That's why you go back to last night. Bullpen wasn't taxed at all by the start with Finley in the way that he pitched last night. You'd need a bullpen in those final 2 games, and the Cardinals are well rested in that department with the off day on Monday. Left center field. Edmonds going back. He has got it. Basket catch on the track. And Colorado strands the bases loaded. 3 hits, 2 walks, but only 1 run. Could have been much worse. Back by popular demand, it's the North Star Magic House Ice Cream Sundays. Every Sunday, 2 hours prior to the game, head to the Cardinals courtyard next to the Plaza of Champions for fun activities for the whole family. North Star Ice Cream Sundays, only at the ballpark. This day in baseball history, brought to you by Schnucks. 1968, after being no-hit the day before by Gaylord Perry, the Cardinals, line starter Ray Washburn, returned the favor by no-hitting the Giants. 1968 this day in baseball history.
And you remember the story of that, don't you?
Mike Shannon has told me a number of times.
Yeah, the first one was first game of a series after the Cardinals had just clinched the National League pennant.
That's right.
So the boys were out celebrating a little bit. And
understandably so.
Gaylord got him that day. And the next day, Ray Washburn said, "Okay, I'll take care of business," and he no-hit the Giants.
Here's Scott Rolen, and a strike from Stark.
Did you ever get that? When you were trying to get the newspaper article because somebody had predicted that they were going to get no-hit all
That's
3
right.
games or something?
Exactly. Mike Shannon loves telling that story. You know he's telling the truth because it hasn't changed for the last 10 years. Scott Rolen had a home run last night. Our umpires were deciding as to whether or not how they were going to approach with all the rain that has been falling the last hour or so here in Denver, if they would delay this game a bit. Jerry Lane is behind the plate. Mike DeMuro at first. Ed Montague is at second. Hunter Wintelstadt is at third.
Montague is the crew chief, the man you're seeing right now.
Here's the 1-2. Rolen fights it off and slices it foul. Scott Rolen, Tino Martinez, and Renteria for the Cardinals here in the second, trailing 1-0. A little later tonight, Anaheim and Oakland, along with San Francisco and Los Angeles. Talk about a pitcher's duel last night. Oakland never got past second, and the Angels struck out 14 times in their game, but won it on Tim Salmon's home run off of Billy Koch, the closer for Oakland. Rolen is jammed on the infield. Helton has got it. He was the Gold Glove winner a year ago, and there's 1 out. When you saw the Angels, did you think they were going to be as good as they are this year when they were in St. Louis?
Not at all.
Me neither.
Not at all.
95 wins. That's most in the league now.
But talked to Rex Hudler today. Does color for the Angels. And he told me that Mike Scioscia, who played his entire career in the National League, was playing National League style ball, moving runners along, playing little ball, and making things happen.
Direct opposite approach of the way that Oakland has gone about things. They will take, and then wait for that big home run. They've got some guys in the lineup that can do it with Chavez and Tejada. You know, Oakland's a great story considering that they lost Giambi. Johnny Damon was gone. Isringhausen. And they might be better this year than they were a year ago. Tino Martinez, a grand slam last night. He slices this one down that left field line, and it is foul. Now the Cardinals have a decision on their rotation for postseason play, but Mike Scioscia was saying he'll use a 4-man rotation. Jared Washburn, a winner last night for them. Kevin Appier, Ramon Ortiz, and then they've got a rookie in John Lackey. Remember, they signed Aaron Seeley, but he's been out with a torn rotator. That's out of play. The Cardinals have talked about Woody Williams, Chuck Finley, and Matt Morris in that first series, and it looks like it's going to be Arizona. We go back to our virtual manager. Log on at foxsports.com. When will the Cardinals clinch the Central? Sunday. 37%. Tino drives this one into deep right field. Tino Martinez, home run number 20, and the game is tied. His second home run in as many nights, and that's 5 RBIs the past 2 days against Colorado. It's 1-1. No doubt about that home run by Tino.
All right, he's hit now 5 home runs and 13 RBIs in his last 12 games. And this one's just getting started with his first plate appearance here.
It's our Nextel Direct Connect hit.
Much better.
Thank you. Only once this time.
Down and in, and he just put some good part of the bat on that pitch. So Cardinals have 1 hit, and it produces a run. Well, Denver, remember, they got their run, 3 hits and 2 walks. Stranded the bases loaded.
Boy, no doubt about number 20 for Tino Martinez. Like we said after the slow start, Martinez now has 73 RBIs, 20 home runs. He's hitting close to 270.
Well, he's hitting better than 285 against right-handers.
Two balls and a strike on the Cardinals shortstop, Renteria.
Talking about pitching sequence and how he is approaching the left-handers.
That's driven into center field. Pierre going back, and it's back-to-back. Renteria goes deep. 2-1 St. Louis.
How good has he been this year? Oof. Best shortstop, all-around shortstop in the National League. Leads in batting average and RBIs. He's got 20 steals. That's his 11th home run, 76 RBIs. And not swinging for the home runs, but they'll come when you don't swing for them. Driving in a lot of runners by hitting the ball the opposite field, and now and then you get a pitch in the inner half. That's the one you can turn on.
2 hits, 2 runs, 2-1 St. Louis. Here's Matheny. A great crew here in Colorado followed this one all the way. They've got a lot of practice here in Denver, Al.
Yeah, they have.
Good Renteria and Tino Martinez, back-to-back home runs. Matheny into center field. Juan Pierre backing up a bit. He's got it. There's 2 outs. Well, Saturday gets your NFL fix a day earlier with the most outrageous, unpredictable NFL pregame show you've ever seen. Introducing the NFL show on Fox Sports Net. Michael Irvin, Tony Siragusa, comedian Tommy Davidson. Pregame shows may never be the same, so start your NFL weekend the night before kickoff with the NFL show presented by the U.S. Postal Service. Only here on Fox Sports Net. Oh, Wilson Delgado. He's been had, Al.
Oh, yeah, he's looking up, but he doesn't know. He's supposed to look on top.
Of course, you in the bullpen now would never do something like that. Never light anybody's shoe on fire or have a little fun with some of the boys out there. You were as straight-laced as they came.
You got it. I mean, Eli's probably the prankster here doing that, but you can have fun down there at times. But when you start lighting shoelaces and stuff like that, I mean, that, what was that? He just took it off, and he just, now look at him, just found out. Did you put something on my head?
2 balls and a strike on Andy Benes. Good cut. Andy's got a home run this year. home run in 3 different decades. We haven't talked about that this year, Al.
I want to see him hit 2 different centuries.
Ground ball, and that is hit to short. Uribe retires Andy Bennis. An inning and a half is in the books here in Colorado. Back-to-back home runs. It started with Tino. Renteria then would follow it up. 2-1 St. Louis. This Sunday, the Cardinals play the Astros. It's Gateway Arch. Run the bases day. All fans ages 15 and under will be allowed to run the bases after the Cardinals game. Kids will receive a free tram ride ticket, courtesy of the Gateway Arch. 421-3060, or log on to stlcardinals.com. Again, that'll be this Sunday. The Cardinals battle the Astros, and for all the 3 games this weekend, good seats still available. That could be a clinching game in St. Louis. Edgar Renteria, home run. Tino Martinez, a home run, and it's 2-1 Cards here in the bottom of the second. Uribe, Stark, and Pierre for Colorado in their half of the second.
See if Andy doesn't have an easier inning.
The first inning for Andy Bennis. First 4 men reached.
And manicured the mound and also home plate a little bit. The drying agent.
It was a base hit, a home run, a double, and then a walk. And then finally Zeal made the second out after Pierre had been caught stealing. And there's a strike to Juan Uribe as Zeal flied to center. Then there was a walk to Ortiz, and then with the bases loaded, Bennett hit it to the track, and Jim Edmonds tracked it down. There's a shot and a pitch that was up. That's going to fall for a base hit in front of Pujols. He'll get it back in, a leadoff base hit here in the second for Colorado. This October will be filled with spellbound days, mystical nights, as sports' biggest month comes to Fox. Baseball's Division Series kicks off with 125 hours of October's magical matchups. Thrilling NFL showdowns. Magical matchups. They begin here on Fox on October 1st. Stark has a couple of sacrifices. Good bunt here. Matheny will take it. Vigna covering first. Sacrifice is good. And Uribe moves up to second on the play. 1 out. Third sacrifice for Denny Stark.
Wet grass, so got to make sure your feet are underneath you, and then also when you pick up that ball, likelihood it's going to be a little bit wet. But Mike, fundamentally sound, does the job one more time.
Brings in Juan Pierre, singled up the middle his first time up against Andy Bennis, then was caught stealing on a tremendous throw from Mike Matheny.
It was 43 stolen bases, so he was caught the 11th time.
We're talking about saves before. John Smoltz picked up a save last night, now with 52, so he's 1 shy of the National League record of 53 held by Randy Myers and Trevor Hoffman. Of course, Atlanta already in postseason play for the 11th consecutive year. There was an article in USA Today this morning, Al, talking about the decline in attendance in Major League Baseball, and a lot of that due to the strike talk. But how about Atlanta? They barely had over 19,000 the other night. You talk about some spoiled fans. Wow.
11 consecutive times they've gone to the postseason, and they usually don't even sell out for the postseason now.
In 2000 against the Cardinals they didn't.
And a lot of the Cardinal fans picked up a lot of those tickets and helped with the attendance that they did have.
Right. Well, if you're a team like Atlanta, you've got guys that have some individual milestones that they're going for. Millwood is trying to get to 20 wins. Smoltz could wind up with 60 saves. Lavin a chance at 20 wins. Maddox with a win last night, now with 14. If he gets to 15, only he and Cy Young have done 15-win seasons in 15 consecutive years. That's hit to short. Renteria's got it. There's 2 outs. Go back to our virtual manager. Log on to foxsports.com. on Lycos. Keyword is virtual manager. Who should start the first game of the division series, postseason play for the Cardinals? I think the obvious choice would be Matt Morris for me, Al.
Yeah, they seem to be very pleased with Chuck Finley. And maybe he would neutralize some of those left-handed bats in that lineup, but it seems hard to believe that you go against Matt Morris. Maybe we'd like to see him pitch a strong effort between now and then.
Here's Petrick. The way that postseason play sets up against Arizona, it'd be a game on Tuesday, off day, game on Thursday, off day, and then Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So you could go with a three-man rotation, and if you did, I think it would be unfair to throw Woody Williams on 3 days because of his oblique and the strain in that side. So you could see Chuck Finley be thrown out there on 3 days rest. I'm not so sure I'd want to do that. We saw him throw an awful lot of pitches against Chicago, and then the next time out did not pitch well. And remember, he's 39 years old. He had a lot of wear and tear on that body.
Well, last night he 3 hits through 6 innings, and then he didn't retire the first 3 batters. They all got base hits in the 7th. He ended up getting no decision.
1-2 on Petrick. Check swing, did not go around. Count is even with Todd Helton on deck. You go back to Atlanta, one of the things that they have to deal with is just keeping guys sharp. How much do you play him? How much do you rest him? That's one of the problems, if it is a problem, for Bobby Cox. That's a good problem to have, though.
Yeah. And it's a problem that Colonel Russo probably is going to have, and talk to him a little bit about it and how he approaches it. He'll talk to the players. Really don't want to give much more than 2 days off to anybody, but you are not going to have wholesale changes like rest all your regulars in one time and maybe take 2 of them out a game.
A swing and a miss and a strikeout for Andy Bennis. It stays a 2-1 Cards lead. Vina, Drew, and Edmonds coming up. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of the game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. How about that? Cardinal Baseball is a production of Bud Sports and an exclusive presentation of Fox Sports Net.
Oh, how about that? How about that? Go Cards. Rolen, Missouri loves the Redbirds, right?
That's right.
And Fox Sports Net.
Here's Fernando Vina, second time around for the Cardinals against Denny Stark. It was back-to-back home runs last inning to give the Cardinals a lead of 2-1. Tino Martinez, Edgar Renteria went deep if you're just joining us. We were talking about Atlanta. This might be one of the better teams that they've had in recent years. Pitching staff is very, very good, as they always are, but it's their bullpen that is head and shoulders above everybody in baseball, really. Best bullpen right now in the major leagues. They've got 4 guys in that bullpen that weren't even in the majors a year ago. Chris Hammond, Darren Holmes. Remember Darren Holmes?
You got guys that come back from the dead, not in the bullpen, but retired or been out of baseball or disabled.
Kevin Grabowski, another name that has helped out Atlanta. Spoonie Barger, another one.
Atlanta's bullpen ERA is 2.65. Anaheim 2.89. San Francisco 3.07. And St. Louis 3.16.
It's amazing with everything that has happened with this team to be in the top 5 in that category. Got to give a lot of credit to Dave Duncan and Tony La Russa.
And just don't forget the players.
Rain has really picked up. A ball and 2 strikes on Fernando Vina, with the Cardinals leading 2-1. Houston in the 5th inning leading Milwaukee 3-0.
Lidge, rookie, start that game, and you would have to believe that 5-6 innings would be somewhere near his maximum.
Vina into center. Juan Pierre is there. for the first out here in the third. Richie Sexton just flew out with the bases loaded, we understand, and it's in the sixth inning now. 3-0 Houston. Of course, the magic number at 5 for the Cardinals starting play tonight. So Lidge is out of the game, and Puffer is into the game out of the bullpen for Houston.
Joe Buck, the first time he mentioned his name, got a real English accent.
Rockies have out hit the Cardinals 4-2. Here's J.D. Drew.
The sinker.
One and two on J.D.
JD's right knee is the one that has the patella tendonitis and keeps him from kind of opening up with that leg. That's why he's fallen victim to a lot of the off-speed pitches. But he's swinging a little better here tonight. Which I would not believe would be that ideal conditions, the weather conditions here tonight for a sore knee.
Raining pretty steadily now. Matter of time before they call maybe a stoppage of play here for a little bit.
I don't have a drop on me.
Oh, I feel good too, Al. I'm actually warm a little bit up here. And
I'm ready to go right through this game.
2-2 the count.
Fans seem to be enjoying it.
And a full count on J.D. Drew. What you really have to watch out for is that pitcher's mound. The footing out there.
Yeah. And
the crew just loves it here.
And
too.
now he is on command. Stark will go back there and start stomping around, try to get the mud out of his cleats.
Full count on J.D. Drew. And a ground ball hit to second. Jose Ortiz, 2 outs.
And with all the technology that's involved in the games today and everything else, you know, the one thing that's still the best, the tongue depressor. They're taking the mud out of the cleats, and I think you can see there's Montague very closely, and he may at the end of this inning. He was just testing the dirt around second base there, and it looked awful slick. I think we're going to have stoppage of play at the end of this half inning, and maybe right now.
Yep, that's going to be it. So we will have a delay. A count of no balls and a strike with 2 outs on Jim Edmonds. The Cardinals leading 2-1 here in the top of the third. Brown's crew is working feverishly to get that tarp on the field. We're in for a long night of baseball.
Well, Dan, with the Rockies, who are kind of hurting in starting pitching right now, and with the fact that we got Garrett Stevenson and also Jamie Wright down there, Cardinals, if this is a long delay, are in pretty good shape.
Yeah, that's a good point. Those two are ready to go. So the Cardinals had batting practice cut short because of the rain. And the tarp has already been on this field, and they'll do it again here with 2 outs in the top of the third. Back-to-back home runs here tonight for the Cardinals. Tino Martinez and Edgar Renteria. The Redbirds lead this one 2-1. Keep an eye on that Houston game. It's 3-0 Houston over Milwaukee in the 6th inning. Magic number at 5 for St. Louis here tonight. So we will be going to rain delay programming here on Fox Sports Net. We're going to take you to the best damn sports show period. We'll be updating you throughout the night. Stay tuned. Cardinals and Rockies here on Fox. Dan McLaughlin, Al Hrabosky with you here on Fox Sports Net. We thank you for sticking with us through this delay. And these umpires and both these teams want to make sure and do everything they can to get this game in. Cardinals will play tomorrow afternoon against Colorado, and it's their final road series of the season. And the umpires are on the scene. We hope to get this thing going in about 2 minutes or so. That's what they've been telling the fans here at Coors Field. So we will have baseball here tonight and a 2-1 ball game for St. Louis.
This young man giving up the 2 home runs. Now he's allowed 22 on the season. 8-1 here at Coors Field. The ERA of 3.12. He's been quite a surprise, 27-year-old, so he's not as young as most rookies.
Kind of thought that Andy Bennis, and it looks like he will go back to the mound for St. Louis. I thought this might be the perfect time to give Jamie Wright or Garrett Stevenson some work out of the bullpen in not ideal conditions. Very cool night here for Andy. And obviously that knee could affect him with the conditions out there. And a long layoff between the innings that he will pitch here tonight, but it looks like he will go back out there.
Well, I think you owe it to him. If he wants to go back out there, it is his start. He does have a 2-1 lead going right now, so you get to him, but obviously you kind of think in terms of 5 innings would be his maximum effort tonight.
That is a final. The Astros just won 3-1, so the magic number stays at 5. It could be 4 before we are through here in Colorado. Edmonds will be the hitter with 2 outs here in the top of the 3rd. 2-1 St. Louis. And it was just 1 pitch by Stark to Jim Edmonds, and then the game was suspended.
And they throw down to second base, so we're going to resume play very quickly with a no balls, 1 strike count on Jim Edmonds.
Delay of 1 hour, 18 minutes here in Denver. Edmonds walked his first time up, left stranded back in the 1st. Cardinals have been out hit in this ball game 4-2. The back-to-back home runs the difference in this ball game by Martinez and Renteria. 2 solo home runs for Edgar, by the way, number 11. Martinez, number 20. 1 hour and 18 minutes. That's the delay, and that's a ball outside. 1-1. Have to be careful with Stark and Andy Bennis, and watch carefully after the delay.
Well, and I think the Cardinals, and we'll reiterate that Andy wants to gut it out and go back out there, but I think the Cardinals are in very good shape with 2 starters in that bullpen, and even a guy like Luther Hackman, that's had what, 6 starts or so.
It could be extended.
Yeah, you could use someone to get out of an inning, and then you let one of those 3, and I think Jamie Wright or Stevenson would be the guys that would start an inning.
Here's the 2-2, a full count now on Jim Edmonds. So we'll have a long night of baseball here in Denver. It's our final road telecast of the season. Winding down this campaign, the Cardinals look like they're headed to postseason play. A full count on Jim Edmonds. We'll do it again.
This crowd seems like they're a little more vocal. You can hear them a little better now.
Plenty of time to go hit the concessions.
Or whatever.
Your drink of choice during a long delay.
Honest, it's a St. Louis variety.
3-2 on Edmonds. High fly ball opposite way. Petrick on the run, and that's out of play. You go back to this first inning for Colorado and a missed opportunity with 3 hits, a pair of walks, and they only get 1 run against Andy Bennis. Full count on Edmonds. Pitch number 55 from this right-hander is hit to center. Juan Pierre has got it. Edmonds is 0 for 1 on the night. Bottom of the third coming up. Helton, Walker, and Zeal. This portion of Cardinals baseball from Colorado on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by Auto Tire. For the very best in tires and service, you ought to go to Auto Tire. And by Advance Auto Parts, the best part is our people. Todd Helton will lead things off for the Rockies, trailing 2-1 to the Cardinals. Helton, Larry Walker, and Todd Zeal. Here in the Rockies half of the third. Andy Bennis back to the mound. 2-1 St. Louis. Andy has allowed 4 hits, a pair of walks. And he leads it by a run.
He's lucky to get out of the first inning with only the solo home run, as he gave up hits to the first 3 batters. Then he walked the 4th man. Matheny helped out with caught stealing.
Bob Fowler out of play. Helton, a double his first time up. Hitting .331 on the season. Good enough for the top 10 in the National League.
Better than .375 at home.
That's been his career mark here at Coors coming into this year. .375. Former quarterback at Tennessee. Very good athlete. Picked up his first Gold Glove last year.
Told me he's expecting a baby this anytime now.
And he hits a shot foul.
Still makes his home in Tennessee. And I'll see him at Rick Honeycutt's golf tournament. He said he didn't think he'd make it this year because of the baby.
1-2 the count. Helton is in the second year of an 11-year contract. $151 million. He signed that prior to day 1 a year ago. Popped up and out of play.
It's really tough. Not much flexibility for the Rockies when you talk about Helton, Walker, Nagel, and Hampton. Those 4 guys are making an awful lot of money, and everybody else is kind of in between.
Nagel and Hampton 175 combined just for those 2. Todd Helton a year ago, another 100 extra base hit season. He's had back-to-back years like that. The only player in Major League history to do so. 1-2 the count. Walker on deck. And it's pulled to Tino Martinez. 1 away.
Good pitch from Andy getting inside on Helton. Maybe the layoff will do him some good.
Brings in Larry Walker. With 1 out, nobody on, 2-1 Cards. Houston a winner already tonight. 3-1 over Milwaukee. Out west, a key series between San Francisco, LA. The Giants leading at Dodger Stadium 3-2. Anaheim beating Oakland 3-1 in the American League. Where the Dodgers could make it to postseason play without Kevin Brown. He's been shut down for the remainder of the season. And Ishii, the left-hander, was the top left-hander in the National League the first half of the season. He's done. A jam shot to Renteria. He's got it 2 away. Kevin Brown only 10 starts this year, a total of 63 innings. And over the next 3 years, he is owed $45 million. Speaking of spending some bucks.
And I think he's on the disabled list 3 times this year.
3 times.
And you have to question the elbow and the back. It's the back now after surgery. Starting to stiffen up again.
They've got Hideo Nomo, Dallas Perez, Omar Dowell, and Andy Ashby left in their starting rotation. Zeal pops it up into right field. JD has got it. We play 3. Pujols, Rolen, and Martinez coming up for the Cardinals. Top of the 4th here in Colorado. We turn to our Aflac trivia question. Has any Cardinal ever hit 2 triples in the same inning?
I know the answer.
Are you back or not? Final road telecast of the season, and you know the answer.
Yeah, so I might as well get people mad at me.
Why not?
Yes.
And who was it?
It was 1895. I remember that part. I was in attendance.
As a youngster.
That was the 3rd inning.
Here's Albert Pujols, and a strike from start.
Robinson Field.
How many guys in the truck are helping you out on this one?
Nobody.
Come on. Albert to center field, in and then backing out Pierre, and there's one away. You remember this, huh?
Yeah.
From trivia questions gone by.
I don't know if it was at Robinson Field or not, but it was in 1895.
Scott Rolen is second in the league with 8 triples. Jimmy Rollins, his former teammate, has 9 for the Phillies. Now you think about Jimmy Rollins having triples, but not Scott Rolen. 6'4", 235 pounds, and he's got 8 triples. 2 with the Cardinals.
That's because he's always running hard. Always hustling. And ready to take that extra base.
Popped out his first time up to Todd Helton. Homered here last night, and it's 2-0. Tino Martinez on deck. Cardinals leading 2-1. Keep an eye out west on the 2 key games in both the American League and National League.
Anaheim has a 4-1 lead over Oakland in the 4th.
That's against Barry Zito, too, who has 21 wins. Now, he's a guy you consider for the Cy Young in the American League. Pedro Martinez, another one. Sean Lowe, another one. Red Sox teammate. Zito's got a chance at 24 wins. That's well hit, left field. Scott Rolen has gone deep. 3 solo home runs for the Cardinals here tonight. And it's 3-1 St. Louis.
That's how you get 100 RBIs, isn't it?
And his 26th home run, 100 RBIs in St. Louis. That's 9 home runs and 34 RBIs. No doubt about this one.
No, absolutely. Out away from him. Great extension. And the altitude will give you the liftoff. No doubt.
Here's Tino Martinez. The Cardinals have gone back-to-back here tonight with Martinez and Renteria. Scott Rolen, 100 RBIs. Going back to the Cy Young in the American League, you think of Derek Lowe and his teammate Pedro Martinez along with Zito. Pedro has made it quite clear to the media that he wants to win that Cy Young. He said, if I was voting, I'd vote for me. Okay. That's what he said after he won his 19th the other day. Into center field. 2 outs. Martinez is 19-4, but leads the league in ERA, opponent's average, and strikeouts. This would be his 4th Cy Young. Derek Lowe, he's a great story. Former closer, now starter. 20 wins, 2nd best ERA. And then Zito could wind up with 24 wins.
So it only counts for position players. In the MVP battling if the team wins.
Right. Smoltz and Gagne could come into play in the National League with the MVP.
They won't.
Nope. Shallow center, Pierre on the run, and he's got it. He can make up a lot of ground. He's a speedster out there in the outfield. 3 hits, 3 home runs for the Cards tonight. 3-1 St. Louis. Aflac trivia question. Al has already given us our answer. 2 triples in the same inning by a Cardinal. Has it ever happened? 1895. You remembered, Al?
Yeah, I forgot July 2nd. One of those
You're slacking a
senior
bit.
moments.
You're just slacking a bit. Did you know it was that name?
Yeah, I just couldn't remember how to pronounce it. That name. There's that man again.
Scott Rolen. Three-1 cards here in the bottom of the fourth.
Scotty got his 100th RBI, but there's two Rockies sitting on 99.
Ortiz pops it up. Got a play. That's Heldon Walker sitting on 99 RBIs. Ortiz was a guy that they really expected to have a bust-out year. Here in Colorado, he played 53 games for the Rockies a year ago and belted 13 home runs.
Well, he had a hamstring and knee surgery in July.
Edmonds has been busy. You watch Pierre and Edmonds. Two very good defensive outfielders, and it seems like in this ballpark you just have to wait a split second to see how the ball is carrying out there. Pierre's done it a few times.
Good point. You know, it's such a big outfield, and the ball travels so much further here. Is one of the reasons why you're saying you've got to kind of give it time for it to take off. Sea level, the ball won't travel as well, so you kind of read the ball differently off the bat here.
Here's Gary Bennett, catcher here tonight. Stranded the bases loaded on a fly ball hit to center that Edmonds tracked down. Back in the first inning. Cardinals leading this one 3-1. Houston is won over Milwaukee by the score of 3-1. That's a final. Popped up. This rain delay may have helped Andy Dennis.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. He's executing and getting in on these hitters. I didn't like his original game plan. He told me that last time out he threw 85% or 85 fastballs, about 5 breaking balls, and first inning couldn't get the ball down, and it was out over the plate. But since that time, he's been hitting his spots.
Here's Uribe up the middle, base hit.
And he can change his speeds a little bit more, but Uribe 2 for 2.
5 hits for the Rockies here tonight. Out hit the Cardinals 5-3.
So, takes a little off. And nice little controlled swing. Sends it right back up the middle.
But it brings in Denny Stark. First major league hit was a home run for Denny Stark. He sacrificed his first time here tonight.
I think that was his 4th big league at bat, and that was off of Kevin Millwood.
Right.
And it wasn't that swing.
Philadelphia over Arizona 6-5. Pittsburgh beats Cincinnati 3-2. Montreal over Florida 4-2. Mets beat Chicago 2-1. No balls and 2 strikes on the pitcher Denny Stark. Mitch in Houston winning over Milwaukee 3-1. San Francisco leading Los Angeles by a run. It's 3-2. No balls and 2 strikes on Stark. Rockies have left 4 the first 3 innings. Get a look at Jennings tomorrow for Colorado. Young right-hander. Might be the rookie of the year in the National League. 16-7, just 1 loss here at home. That's saying something.
Yeah, it's awful special.
Runner is going. The pitch is taken for a ball, and a stolen base for Uribe. That was off Andy Dennis. Matheny had no shot. And he's 1 for 2 tonight, catching the base stealers for Colorado.
9th steal and 11 attempts, and you're right. Andy kind of forgot about him over there with 2 outs, a pitcher up, and he took advantage of it.
Matheny caught Juan Pierre for the first out in the first inning, trying to swipe his 44th. Seems like a long time ago. Hit to Tino Martinez. He backs up. Dennis is covering. And Colorado has left 5 on the night. We'll move to the 5th. Matheny, Bennis, and Pena coming up for St. Louis. Explore Cardinal baseball by arriving at the game in your new Ford Explorer. Now with $2,500 cash back or 0% financing for 60 months and no payments until 2003 to qualified buyers. Ford in your quality Ford stores, your home run to summer fun. For Denny Stark, first appearance against St. Louis this year, trailing 3-1. 3 hits, all 3 have been home runs. Start playing in the 5th. Mike Matheny will lead it off for the Cardinals. 27-year-old rookie right-hander Denny Stark. Seventh year as a professional for Stark. A very good minor league season and career. Actually averaged 8 strikeouts a season ago.
Coming into this season, he had 9 major league games, 3 starts in 2 different seasons in Seattle.
14-2 last year. Matheny chases a ball.
Yeah, that's the slider you've got to lay off of. Hard slider down and away. Lay off of that one. Then you have to get him to elevate his sinker. 3 home runs means he's elevated a few times for him.
Matheny is hit.
Get the hand.
So Matheny is hit by the pitch. Let's hope he's all right. Boy, that worries you a little bit there. And there goes Brad Henderson. He's going to check on Mike Matheny. Well, get your NFL fix a day earlier with the most outrageous, unpredictable NFL pregame show you've ever seen. Introducing the NFL show on Fox Sports Net. Michael Irvin, Tony Siragusa, comedian Tommy Davidson. Pregame shows may never be the same, so start your NFL weekend the night before the kickoff. NFL show presented by the U.S. Postal Service, only here on Fox Sports Net.
Well, there's nobody tougher than Mike Matheny, and right now he's hurting somewhat. Always are concerned when that ball's hitting the hand. Small bones right there. Ball running in on him.
Like you said, he's all right.
He always going to say he's all right. Remember when he was with Milwaukee, he took a fastball in the face and never lost consciousness. And he was ready to play right then and there. Mask didn't quite fit the next day.
Andy Bennis will be asked to sacrifice here. He grounded his short his first time up. And you're talking about that. Mike Mussina, when he was hit on the head on a comebacker, next time out his hat size was a ½ inch bigger. Played with a hat size that much bigger because his head was so swollen. It stayed like that for about a year. And Ishii, of course, is out for the remainder of the season. That's pulled foul. No balls and a strike after Matheny was hit by the pitch on a 1-2 delivery. Cold night here in Colorado. Rain delay of 1 hour 18 minutes. Now time is called.
Catcher called it. First time I ever saw a catcher raise his hand like it's, I did it, but you see he's got something in his eye.
It's Gary Bennett.
Probably an eyeball. He's starting to right up here, and he gets the attention of the home plate umpire, and it's a good way for Stark to get hurt. Go ahead and throw the ball. Just don't throw it at your catcher.
One ball, one strike.
I wouldn't be surprised if they switch off again to that Butcher boy. Tried it first time, second time he tried to execute the bunt, and Now you go back to it possibly. Corners are charging aggressively.
Vigna on deck. Nobody out here in the fifth. Cardinals leading 3-1. There it is. Pulled to short. And an error by Uribe, number 27. And it's first and second. Nobody out.
A little too casual all the time.
See if Vigna can make him pay.
Got to hit down on it. So you see where Andy does. Accentuates chopping down. Don't want to hit into a line drive double play, and there he gets a Sunday hop, but his mind was going to figure out whether he had a chance at second or was he going to execute the throw and didn't look it into the glove.
Now here's Vigna. It's first and second. Fernando is flied out twice on the left side of the infield. 27 errors now for Uribe, the shortstop. 47 errors on that left side with Zeal and Uribe. Todd Zeal playing on the grass, and let's see if Vigna might want to lay down in front.
That's close to half of their errors. They have 104 in the season.
Fernando has been elevating the ball as of late.
Yeah, it's a bad habit. He'll get into that funk every now and then. Wouldn't be surprised if there's another play on, but you don't have a lot of speed on the base pass.
J.D. Drew is on deck. Matheny at second. Andy Benes at first. Some activity now for Colorado in their bullpen. Vigna pulls it towards second. They get one. Can they get two? Double play. Ortiz, Uribe over to Helton at double play. Matheny is at third.
Well, he hits it right here. Watch the shortstops make Andy get down. I want to look the ball right into the between the bridge of the nose, so you kind of throw it side on, and that's a lot of what he throws anyway.
Here's J.D. Drew with 2 outs. Matheny at third. Ryan Fuentes is throwing in the bullpen for Colorado, left-hander that we saw last night.
Yeah, but they only like to bring him in against right-handers.
Oddly enough.
And if he comes in, we'll show you why.
Edmonds on deck if Drew can extend the inning. Cardinals have been out of hit 5-3 in this ball game. 3 solo home runs. Stark is 10-3. This is his 18th game that he has started. Worked out of the bullpen a bit for Colorado. Last start a win against the Dodgers. Ooh, that was a pitch to drive there. 1-1. This is his 3rd straight win and 10th overall. 7 innings against Los Angeles. Only 2 hits allowed. One ball, 1 strike on J.D. Drew. Ripped towards second. Ortiz has got it. Cardinals strand a man here at the top of the 5th. 3 hits, 3 home runs. It's 3-1 St. Louis. Our Pennzoil protection play of the game. We're driving protection made by the second baseman Ortiz, and he took a hit away here from J.D. Drew and an RBI away as well, and the Rockies get out of the inning. Pennzoil, we're driving protection. Top of the order for Colorado here in the bottom of the 5th. It'll be the top of the order. Juan Pierre, Ben Petrick, and Todd Helton. 3-1 Cards. Houston a winner tonight, 3-1 over Milwaukee. San Francisco leading Los Angeles 3-2. And it's now 4-4 in the 4th between Anaheim and Oakland. Pierre on the night has been caught stealing after a leadoff base hit and grounded out to short.
Scott Rolen weigh in against this guy that bunts a lot.
Also Tino Martinez at first, and the first pitch in the bottom of the 5th is a ball. Should be a fun weekend in Cincinnati, the final weekend at Synergy Field.
going to elevate the ball against anybody, this is the guy that Andy should do it. His whole game is speed, not a lot of power, and 0 home runs on the year.
See that Sparky Anderson's going to throw out that first pitch for the Reds on Sunday, and Jose Rijo make the start. Ground ball hit to Villa. 1 out.
That's great. Sparky going back there.
There's some talk about Pete Rose and what kind of involvement he could have there.
Well, he has something the next day, because it'll be the last day of the season, will be the last game at Synergy Field, so Major League Baseball has no more control over it, and he has a charity event.
Petrick pulls it fair down the third base line. Over to get it in, it's Pujols as it goes into the corner, and Petrick has a home run and now a double. Go along with a strikeout, he's 2 for 3.
A young guy hit well at AAA as he's sort of making the adjustment from catching to the outfield. And right inside the third base bag, down into the corner. And out in front on an off-speed pitch a little bit. And now Andy's going to have to deal with Helton and Walker.
Mentioned that those two, one shy from 100 RBIs.
That would be the 4th consecutive year for Todd Helton when he gets to 100.
He is doubled here tonight. The first pitch is a ball. Petrick to get second. 1 out, Cardinals leading 3-1.
Oakland now 7-4.
That's rip foul. They were trailing 4-1 in that game.
4-1. Come back early, 5th inning.
Ripped towards first. There's Tino Martinez. 2 outs. Hard hit, but right at Tino. We turn to our Auto Tire leaderboard, and the league leaders in fielding percentage at first base, and Tino Martinez trailing only Eric Karros on our Auto Tire leaderboard. Chance at a Gold Glove for Tino. 5 years on the season.
It's going to be interesting to see who wins that in the National League. Helton is a reigning Gold Glove winner.
He's got 7 errors. That was his first Gold Glove last year.
He got 7, but he also has, I think, the most opportunities.
Right. He's had just 1 in his last 57 games. 2 balls and no strikes. On Larry Walker, he is walked and popped out to short. Now 35 years of age. Still one of the great hitters in this game.
And you see Andy being very careful with him, with Todd Zeile on deck.
0 for 6 with runners in scoring position for the Rockies, and Andy doesn't get that call. You don't mind that, as he'll walk Larry Walker and deal with Todd Zeile.
Got 2 walks in the night, and both of them have been to Walker with a man in scoring position. 3 walks.
Larry Walker came in hitting .343. It looks like Bonds is going to hold on for his first batting title. He's hitting .373. That means our virtual manager on FoxSports.com on Lycos, we should start the first game of the division series, and we think that Matt Morris is going to be that man, and you do as well. 58%. Thanks for voting. Zeile has fly to center and fly to right. And it's quickly 0-2. Walker at first. Petrick with a double in this inning. He's at third. First and third, 2 outs. Andy trying to get through 5. It was a rough start in that first inning with 3 hits and 2 walks, but Colorado couldn't cash in. They only got 1. Cardinals have had 3 solo home runs. And to check on the runners. That's a balk, Al.
Did you hear an umpire call it? Did you ever hear an umpire call it?
No, I did not.
Okay, it's not a balk.
Just our huge crowd was weighing in. Here's the 0-2. A check swing, and he held up.
By definition,
it is a balk. You are trying to deceive the runner. But it's never called. You ever seen it called?
No.
Delayed steal. They've got the man at third. Got him. Heads up play by Matheny. A delayed steal by Walker. And Petrick thought Matheny might go to second. Instead, a fake to second, a throw to third. The Cards are out of the inning. Top of the 6th, and it's 3-1 Cards here in Colorado. Cardinal fans, this weekend should be a lot of fun. The Cardinals will play the Astros, and on Sunday, it's the Medicine Shop 1982 World Series anniversary poster day for the first 30,000 paying fans. Prior to the game, the Cardinals will honor the players of that World Championship team, the ones that are scheduled to attend, and it's a who's who here. Joaquin Andujar, Bob Forsch, David Green, Silent George Hendrick, Keith Hernandez, Jim Cott, Jeff Lottie, Tito Landrum, Dave LaPointe, Ken Oberkfell, Lonnie Smith, Ozzie Smith, John Stuper, Bruce Sutter, Gene Tennis, and of course Whitey, just to name a few.
And a whole bunch in between.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. Here's Edmonds chasing a high pitch as we start the 6th, and the Cardinals leading it 3-1. 3 solo home runs for the Cards. Martinez and Renteria went back-to-back in the 2nd. And a solo shot by Rolen in the 4th. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 hour and 18-minute rain delay here at Coors Field. Average at 305 for Edmonds.
Things considered, this game moving along.
Yeah. Two balls and 2 strikes. We talked about it with our virtual manager question. Looks like Andy Bettis may be left out of that rotation, the starting rotation, along with Simon Tachi. A chance for Andy to pick up win number 6 here tonight.
Now the Cardinals will have to have 12 pitchers on their playoff roster. And the reason being, because at the 31st, remember we had the day-night doubleheader, so the Cardinals and Isringhausen was not available. Cardinals had to have sufficient pitching to get through that doubleheader, and no time to make a roster move afterwards or between games.
Strikeout of Edmonds. This week, Fox Saturday Baseball. Lance Berkman and the Astros will be at Busch Stadium to take on Tony La Russa, Jim Edmonds, and the Cardinals. It'll be Fox Saturday Baseball this weekend. Check local listings for the start time in your area. Astros and Cards from Busch on Saturday afternoon.
So we can make a couple changes, like Matt was on the disabled list. He can, you have a pool of pitchers to come from, and the Cardinals did a little finagling as they put Jeremy Lambert and Pierce on the roster. It cost him some money.
Ground ball hit to short off the bat of Pujols. He's 0 for 3.
As they will get major league salary and time for the month of September as their stay on the disabled list, but then you could bring Simon Tachi and Matt Morris back. But the problem was you had no position players on the disabled list.
Right.
So you can only carry the 13 position players, or normally you go with at least one more bench guy.
Here's Scott Rolen. Looks like the Cardinals are going to face Arizona in the division series for the second straight year. That was a great series a year ago.
And it felt like whoever survived was going to represent the National League, and Arizona did, and went on to win the World Championship.
Tony Womack, a hit against Steve Klein. The game-winning hit. Of course, Luis Gonzalez had the game-winning hit against the Yankees in the World Series. 2 balls and no strikes on Rolen, who was homered here tonight. 1 for 2. You face Arizona, that means Johnson and Schilling. Rick Helling, by the way, has been pitching much better as of late. They will not have Counsell available. He is done for the season. That's a big loss for them. You don't consider that a big loss on paper, but he was the heart and soul of that team for the first 2 months offensively in many ways.
I remember when we were there, they were saying that he was their MVP.
Right. Junior Spivey has cooled off a little bit. Tony Womack had cooled off a bit. Mark Grace is not an everyday player anymore. DeRozzo is at first. That's fisted towards short. And a 1-2-3 inning for Denny Stark. Bottom of the 6th coming up from Colorado. This portion of Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Net. It's brought to you by Jack in the Box, where we don't make it till you order it. By your local St. Louis area Kia dealers, it's about time everyone had a well-made car. And by Dobbs Tire and Auto Center, St. Louis's #1 choice for tires and automotive service. Magic number here in Colorado stays at 5. The Cardinals win here tonight. Goes down to 4. Houston won tonight over Milwaukee 3-1. That's our score here in the bottom of the 6th. Todd Zeile, Jose Ortiz, and Gary Bennett for the Rockies. But the delay steal, never see that. Larry Walker, he's trying to get that run home from third, and Petrick is picked off by Matheny.
Well, one catcher's alert to it. Another one says why he's playing the outfield now.
If you're Clint Hurdle, that'll drive you nuts. Took over for Buddy Bell.
Clint's pretty realistic about this ball club. He's seen some things, and he knows it's not a particularly good team. He also knows it's going to be difficult to evaluate this ball club in the month of September because they're playing good caliber teams.
Zeile into left field. Albert's got it with the first out here in the 6th. And that rain delay, Andy Benes has been tough. NL Central standings brought to you by Advanced Auto Parts. The Reds were eliminated last night, so the Cardinals, with a win here tonight, their magic number goes down to 4. And the Astros now 7 games out with their win this evening over Milwaukee 3-1. Some folks have stuck around here in Colorado. 1 hour and 18 minutes was our rain delay. And people forget Clint Hurdle was a first-round draft pick for the Royals at the age of 17. Spent 5 years in Kansas City. Actually played the 1980 World Series. Renteria to his left. Good play, 2 away.
Well, I played with Clint Hurdle when he first came up, and after being the cover of Sports Illustrated, the phenom of the spring, so he kind of fell on his face for a year or 2. Never developed into the player that was projected for him.
Well, he was 17 when he was drafted, and it didn't take him long to get to the major leagues at all.
Had a great year in AAA, but kind of the kiss of death was he had to replace John Mabry.
Bennett into center field. And Andy Bennis is through 6. Edmonds puts it away. We head to the 7th. Tino Martinez will lead things off when we come back. Congratulations to Dan Wiedemeyer, today's merchandise prize winner in the Hyundai Long Drive Inning Sweepstakes. If the Cardinals hit a home run here in the 7th, Dan Wiedemeyer will qualify for the grand prize drawing for a Hyundai Santa Fe at the end of the baseball season. For the Cardinals, it'll be Tino Martinez to lead things off, followed by Renteria and Mike Matheny here in the 7th. Cardinals only had 3 hits against Denny Stark, but all 3 were home runs. Brian Fuentes will take over. We saw him in last night's ball game. This will be his 25th appearance for Colorado.
This is the guy that came in last night and struck out 3 right-handed batters. Lefties. He's a lefty, but he can't get lefties out. This year they're batting .407 against him. And righties are batting .200. So Clint tries to bring him in predominantly to face the majority of right-handed batters.
It's his 4th stint with the big club here in Colorado. Had a string of 11 straight appearances without allowing a run. You will see his release point can be tough on left-handers, but for whatever reason, he struggles against these lefties.
Came in, faced Rolen, struck him out. Then Tino got a base hit off him and struck out Renteria and Matheny.
Martinez with a home run here tonight. And that at bat with the Tino last night against Fuentes, it was just a matter of him hanging in there and waiting, and then drove a ball into right field.
There you see the average. Lefties.
2-0.
Fuentes, along with Stark, came in from Seattle. We talked about it last night. They gave up Paniagua, so they gave up 3 pitching prospects for Jeff Cirillo, and they basically had Jeff Cirillo before was David Bell. So they let David Bell go, give up 3 prospects to get Cirillo, who's had a disappointing season.
Talking about the Mariners, they are done after 116 wins a year ago. A lot of it has to do with the fact that those players that had career years a year ago haven't even come close to matching that. Ichiro has kind of come back down to earth, although he's still in the top 10 in batting average, but you expect him to hit 360 and 370. That's not happening. 2-2 the count on Tino Martinez. And the other thing too is that they had not had an extra base hit by a pinch hitter this year.
Really?
Yeah. You compare that to what the Cardinals have done, that's an amazing statistic. Cardinals bench has been one of their bright spots this year. I don't know if you would have said that at the beginning of the year, but with Cairo and Perez, Kerry Robinson, they all have done a very fine job. 2-2. Hold to Helton. He backs up. A flip, and there's one away. It brings in Renteria. He has a home run. Martinez and Edgar went back-to-back in the 2nd inning. And Scott Rolen had a solo home run in the 4th.
Gabe Molina. You know, he's from the Denver area. So I'm sure there's a bunch of family and friends here. And I've, sort of suspected with the hour and 18-minute rain delay that if Andy gave you 5 or 6 innings, that'd be his limit. And I'll tell you what, he did his job once again.
He is due up behind Mike Matheny, who's on deck.
Well, La Russa has to be very proud, especially the way the first inning started out for Andy.
3 hits and 2 walks, and Colorado only got 1 run.
And that's all they have now after 6 innings of good labor.
Two and 0 the count on Renteria. Shows bunt, takes a ball, 3-0.
And it may not be through, but he may have told him that if they get into a scoring situation, they're man on, that they will pinch hit for him. And I think you could say he's done his job very well.
Edgar is hitting .329 since the All-Star break. 3 balls and a strike. We forget he's only 27, the Cardinals shortstop. That would put this up with his best season since he arrived from Florida. Hits it towards short, backing up. Uribe, long throw. Just got him. 2 outs. And it brings in Matheny. 2 outs and nobody on.
Backed up on it, let it play him, but then slings the ball across right ahead of Edgar, running hard down the line.
Andy Bennis has moved to the on-deck circle. Tony La Russa could double switch if he wanted to, if he was going to take Andy out, and he didn't make it to the plate. Have you seen a manager use his bench any better than Tony? Those guys are sharp, and he keeps them sharp.
Well, I think that's also a reflection of the type of player he was. Very limited time at the major league level, and while he was there, he was a bench guy, so he thinks in terms of what those guys need. You get a star player, they have a tendency, they played every day, so they have a tendency to have the same set lineup and play them until there's an injury, or if it's an obvious situation, you need to spell a guy.
1 ball, 1 strike on Matheny. 1 and 2. He seems to be all right after being hit on the hand his last time up. It was on a 1-2 delivery, and that was hit by he was hit by Denny Stark, the starter for Colorado here tonight.
You know Matheny, he's not coming out of any game.
No. Fuentes to Matheny. Breaking ball. Got him. And a strikeout here in the 7th inning. Well, the Cardinals lead it by the score of 3-1. Now for a look at today's national news headlines, let's go to the Fox Network Center. The hot hitter with smooth base running is the Ford Focus with $2,000 cash back and low 0% financing for 60 months to qualified buyers and no payments until 2003. Ford in your quality Ford stores, your home run to summer fun.
Nice job by Andy Bennis getting the congratulatories from his teammates. 6 innings, 1 run. That was the home run by Petrick in the 1st inning. 6 hits allowed, 3 walks, 1 strikeout. And Gabe Molina will come in here for his 10th game this year. He's 1-0, ERA under 1. Batters are batting 161 against him. 5 hits and 9 2/3. 4 walks, 4 strikeouts. He is from Denver. And so this has got to be a real thrill for him to have a chance to pitch at home.
The 2nd annual Ducks Unlimited Day at Busch Stadium is coming up Sunday when the Cardinals take on the Astros at 1:10. All you can eat, pregame picnic and fundraiser, silent auction. All proceeds go to Ducks Unlimited. Cost is $45 for pregame festivities and a game ticket. 516-0165. 516-0165. More information on the Ducks Unlimited Day at the ballpark, which will be this Sunday. Cards and Astros at 1:10. Hope to see you at Busch. Uribe will lead things off, then a pinch hitter. And the top of the order for the Rockies here in their half of the 7th. Been a while since we've seen Gabe Molina.
Well, he pitched in Houston and had a season high 1 1/3 scoreless innings on Sunday, allowing 1 hit. A couple things that are on the plus side for Gabe is inherited runners. He's inherited 6, 0 have scored. First batter faced 9 previous games. He's retired 7 of them.
That's pretty well hit to center. Edmonds going back near the wall, and he's got it.
8 of them.
Good play by Edmonds.
First batter a reliever faces is very critical, especially when you come in with men on base. So Gabe is retired 8 of 10 and never allowed an inherited runner to score. Starts this inning and gets some little help from the center fielder. You play deep here, and then you kind of glide back, and it looks like there's a little bobble to hit his glove, but with 2 hands he holds on.
Lode will be the pinch hitter for Colorado. He goes the opposite way. That is slicing and out of play. Ross Glode seen action now in 10 games, including tonight, since his call up. All have been in a pinch hitting role. Arrived from Colorado Springs, AAA affiliate for the Rockies. Are you okay, Al?
It's getting a little cold up here. Oh.
One ball, one strike. Pretty well hit. Right field. Lode has gone deep. 3-2 game.
All 5 runs of this ball game have been solo home runs. First home run of the season, second of his career,
and first home run this year. He's 2 for 10 in that pinch hitter's role. Now Tony La Russa is going to make a change, and this one snuck over the wall and right and into the Rockies bullpen. Top of the order coming up for Colorado. That means Juan Pierre. Tony La Russa is going to make a double switch.
Cerro, yesterday's winner, come into this ball game. Reno since coming to St. Louis.
Three-2. Cardinals trying to hold on. Jeff Fassero will take over for St. Louis. Third pitcher used by the Cards. There's his numbers with the Cardinals. He was the winner last night. His third with the Cardinals. His third win. And his 8th win on the year. Opponents hitting under 200. There's a lineup card for Tony La Russa. Double switch here.
Yeah, but that's he put that wrong because
correct. He's got
Martinez
going from left, right.
So Taguchi's gone in to play left field, and then the double switch is Martinez is out, and Fassero should be in that spot as Albert moves to first base.
So Taguchi, the game-winning RBI last night, takes over in left. Pujols from left to first. Here's a look at So. Cardinals have had 11 wins, and in those 11 wins, the last 11, 10 different game-winning RBIs, and So Taguchi the latest in that long list for Tony La Russa. It's 3-2 Cards here in the bottom of the 7th with 1 out. We had a rain delay here tonight of 1 hour and 18 minutes, and we have had 5 home runs, 3 by St. Louis and 2 by the Rockies. Top of the order here for Colorado. Juan Pierre is due up, but Gabe Kapler is going to pinch hit for him. He was 1 for 4 with a game-tying RBI off of Fassero last night. A base hit to right field. He was 1 for 4.
And the hit and run was on, and Cairo vacated the second base area, and the ball snuck through.
Did not go around. Pitch was a ball. Pierre was 1 for 3 on the night. Caught stealing by Matheny back in the first. Three-2 Cards here in the 7th. Ground ball backing up. Scott Rolen. Long throw over to Albert. 2 away. And it's up to Petrick for Colorado. So good start here for Jeff Fassero. 39-year-old left-hander for the Cards. An inning of work last night. 1 hit. Been a different pitcher with the Cardinals. Using his fastball more. He's told not to use it in Chicago. It was music to his ears. He loved to listen to Dave Duncan and Tony La Russa to tell him, go ahead and use your fastball, establish it. We still feel you can be a vital pitcher to what we have going on in this bullpen, and he has been.
Yeah, I don't quite understand why you would adhere to the advice of not to use it if you want to use it. I mean, no one's going to argue if you get people out, are they?
No.
So if you, and there's no way you're going to be successful if you want to throw certain pitches and you feel like you can't throw them and you're going to something you don't want, don't believe in.
Cicero has done it all in his career. A starter, been in that relief role. He's been a closer, left-handed specialist. He's done it all. A ball and 2 strikes on Petrick. He's had a nice night with a home run and a double, all off of Andy Bennis.
Dan, you bring them back into a pennant race, and these veteran guys will reach down and find something that they didn't have in bad and losing environments. And as Tony and Dave Duncan, Walt Jockey, everybody said, hey, these guys have had, Rick White, Cicero have had success elsewhere. As long as there's nothing physically wrong with them, it'll come back.
That's been obvious with Cicero and White.
Sometimes when you get to be Jeff's age, you may not be able to recapture it the following year, but to finish out a season, you know, many times it'll be the right combination. See a little bit of the eye black on Matheny's fingers, just to help the pitchers be able to see the signals. Sometimes pitchers will have catchers put tape, white tape on their hands, and other times it'll be the black. It looked like he had it.
Oh, he had
the knuckles there.
Yeah.
But then he keeps on hitting his glove and knocks it off. But you can see a little bit still left.
The 3-2. High fly ball left field. Taguchi back. This game is tied. Petrick a home run. His second home run. 3 hits, 2 home runs, and a double. And it's a 3-3 game.
Well, he came in with 2 home runs and 6 RBIs. He now has 4 in 8. 3 hits on the night, all 3 of them extra base hits. And this is his game. Fastball up out over the plate. Been up and down 3 times. Started as a catcher opening part of the season on the opening day roster.
Now here's Todd Helton. New game, it's 3-3.
22 games this year for the Rockies. Petrick had 12 as catcher and 10 in left field.
It's a chance for Cicero to pick up another win. They tied the game against him last night. Then the Cardinals in the 8th would bust it open.
Now that is a true vulture.
Blowing it and getting the win.
But no one feels worse.
2-0 here on Helton. He could untie it. He hits a shot to center field. That's a base hit. Ball's in front of Edmonds. And it brings in Larry Walker. Helton extends the inning. We've had 6 home runs in this ball game. All have been solo home runs.
Dave Duncan will come out. Doesn't look like there's anybody warming up for the Cardinals. May get somebody up. And that's Tony on the phone. Rick White. Put your uniform on.
They expected to get down to about 39 due tonight.
He had a t-shirt underneath or on top of the jersey and a jacket over that.
.386-foot shot by Petrick to tie the game at 3. 2 home runs and a double for Ben Petrick. Dangerous man at the plate and Walker. Ooh, right down the middle for a strike with a fastball.
Really on the inner half, I think. Larry Walker was guessing and guessing wrong.
1 RBI shy of 100. Houston has won tonight. Magic number sits at 5. 0-2 on Walker. Todd Zeile is on deck.
Fastball, then slider. 3 for 10, 3 RBIs, 4 strikeouts.
Runner at first is Todd Helton. Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss, struck him out. 3 pitches and he strikes out Larry Walker. So Taguchi will lead things off when we come back. Petrick has had a big night, a pair of home runs, a double, and it's 3-3. We've had 6 home runs in this ball game. This October will be filled with spellbound days and mystical nights as sports' biggest month comes to Fox. Baseball's Division Series kicks off with up to 124 hours of October's magical matchups with thrilling NFL showdowns and exciting baseball playoff action. It's only here, beginning October 1st on Fox. We're going to see a new pitcher. Justin Spire will take over, a right-hander out of the bullpen for Colorado. Kapler stays in the game, and he'll play center field after pinch hitting for Juan Pierre. This is your kind of guy, Justin Spire, a former Marine, out there on the mound.
Well, you know, how about the fact that he has been one of the best all time with stranded runners. He comes in here with nobody on, but the Clint Hurdle will tell you that 7, 8, and 9 innings he can pitch with his bullpen. Late innings can pitch with anybody.
So Taguchi was due up, and now Tony La Russa is going to pinch hit with Kerry Robinson. He'll lead off here in the 8th, and this is where the Cardinals did damage in a tie ball game last night. Todd Zeile on the grass at third base. Helton in at first. Off the end of the bat, Walker coming on, and he's got it. 1 pitch and 1 out. Top of the order for the Cards, Beanie and Drew now. Beanie is hit into a double play and flied out twice. He's over 3. Was not with the team last night, attending to personal business. Justin Spire, 5 games against St. Louis and an ERA over 8. So the Cardinals have had their success against this right-hander. Throws hard and a strike to Vigna.
His father was a good shortstop, played briefly with St. Louis. 19 years in the big leagues. It was Chris. Enjoyed the time at San Francisco, also Montreal, St. Louis, Minnesota, and the Cubs. Justin was a United States Marine Corps reservist, 91 to 95.
Here's the 1-1 to Vigna. Pulls it to the first baseman. That's Todd Helton. Just 1 error in his last 57 games, and there's 2 away. But it brings in J.D. Drew. Drew is 0 for 3. Top of the order for the Cards, 1, 2, and 3 is 0 for 9. That's Vigna, Drew, and Edmonds. Add in Pujols. They're 0 for 12. 1 through 4 in the order. Back-to-back home runs for the Cards by Martinez and Renteria in the 2nd. And a solo home run by Scott Rolen made it 3-1 in the 4th. 1 hour and 18-minute rain delay. Spire is the 3rd pitcher used by Colorado here tonight. One ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, nobody on. San Francisco leading Atlanta, or rather, sorry, Los Angeles 4-3. I was looking up at the scoreboard. Atlanta, their final is in. Most of the finals are in Major League Baseball. Arizona leading their ball game 8-3. That's in the 7th. Anaheim trailing Oakland 7-4. Seattle and Texas 2-2. J.D. pops it up, backing up. Uribe on the outfield grass. He's got it, and a 1-2-3 inning for Spire. Bottom of the 8th coming up for Colorado. It's 3-3. This portion of Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, bringing people together with lower fares. By Steak and Shake, famous for steak burgers. And by Lowe's, improving home improvement. Denver, Colorado is the scene. Game 2 of this 3-game set. 6 home runs between these two teams. And Rick White will take over for the Cards. We've seen Andy Bennis, Gabe Molina, Jeff Facero, and now Rick White. His numbers with the Cards are pretty impressive.
They sure are. 13 games previously. Only 9 hits allowed, 3 walks, 9 strikeouts, no runs earned. And he has virtually been reinvented. He got released by Colorado and was sitting at home. His wife just gave birth to a baby and got the call. He really wasn't even thinking about coming back.
Thank goodness that he did. The hot hitter with smooth base running is the Ford Focus with $2,000 cash back and low 0% financing for 60 months to qualified buyers and no payments until 2003. Ford in your quality Ford stores, your home run to summer fun. He's been a different pitcher while with St. Louis. He's a sinker ball pitcher, and we know what happens out here in this thin air. Doesn't sink.
Doesn't have that late movement. Now, he did pitch last night and was successful in his return.
Get a win Friday at Houston, first as a Cardinal.
I talked to Dave Beers, who pitched here and actually had 31 saves for the Rockies one year. And he said, you know, you just have to accept the fact that you're not going to have a very pretty ERA at home. And just, if you can forget about that, and forget about the numbers, and just concentrate on pitching, you can do your job here.
3-3 here in the 8th. Todd Zeile to lead it off. He's fly to center, fly to right, and fly to left. 0 for 3. Trying to untie it there. First pitch swinging, unlike Todd Zeile.
Well, sometimes a guy like Todd, and I remember Ted Simmons would do the same thing. Happens so infrequently, and especially a guy like maybe saying, okay, I know Rick White. He knows I don't swing that often, so he'll probably groove one.
There's a shot. Oh, what a play by Pena. From his knees, the pick at first, and they got him. What a play by Fernando Pena, the reigning Gold Glover.
That ball was hit very hard. That's the difference, too. These balls, when you're playing for a poor club like Colorado, are not made. With a good club, even though it was a weak throw by Fernando, a nice scoop on the short hop by Pujols.
Round number 1. Here's Ortiz. Fly to center, grounded to short, 0 for 2. Also walked. Taps it back to White from his knees. Gets up, throws. 2 away. Coming up tonight, Midwest Sports Report after a late night here in Colorado. The stadium debate ends. The Cardinals will get their new stadium. It's just a matter of where and when. Got to go to work. This team can't afford to wait on a win. We're talking about the Rams. Eye on the Astros. Highlights from the Astros and the Brewers from Milwaukee tonight. Astros a winner 3-1 in that ball game. Midwest Sports Report with Rob King and Pat Paris is coming up. Here's Gary Bennett, the catcher tonight. Light out all 3 times, 0 for 3. Kerry Robinson, by the way, stayed in the game for Taguchi after pinch hitting. Took over and left. 2 outs, nobody on. I asked you about this yesterday. To me, Rick White is throwing harder, too. It seems to me that way.
Maybe just, you know, you're getting good results and you're free and easy. Relaxed. You know, when you're struggling, you have a tendency to choke the ball a little bit. Let it come out as smoothly.
One ball, 1 strike on Bennett, hitting .256. 3-3 game here in the bottom of the 8th. Full left side, there's Rolen. The backhand, long throw, and a 1-2-3 8th. for White. The Cardinals in the ninth get Edmonds, Pujols, and Rolen coming up. Well, since the rain delay of 1 hour and 18 minutes, the Cardinals have gone just 1 for 16. A Rolen home run. Medini was hit by a pitch, and that's been all that the Redbirds have been able to muster. It's 3-3 as we move to the top of the ninth. Spire stays in the game for Colorado, his second inning of work. Rockies about hit the Cards 9-3. It's been 3 solo home runs for St. Louis. Back-to-back shots by Martinez and Renteria, and a solo home run by Rolen. The Cardinals have Edmonds, Pujols, and Scott Rolen here in this ninth inning.
Well, Justin Spire is 5-0. He has allowed 6 home runs. Keep our theme here. All 6 runs in this game have come on 6 solo shots.
Edmonds has had a couple of upper deck shots here in Colorado last year in the same game. Up and into Jimmy. He has walked, fly to center, and struck out swinging back in the 6th. 0 for 2 on the night. One ball, 1 strike. Simon Tachi gets the call tomorrow against Jason Jennings. Two balls and a strike on Edmonds. Cardinals were winners here last night, 11-4.
Just looking at Spire's another guy that's been released twice, and he originally 55th round draft choice of the Cubs.
Had to bring up that part with the Cubs.
I could have been nasty and said he's been with what, 4 major league clubs in the Cubs.
Chicago lost tonight to the Mets 2-1. 3 balls and a strike on Edmonds. He draws a leadoff walk, and he represents the go-ahead run. That's the last thing that Spire wanted to do, and you got Pujols stepping in.
Only flashing some signs to Oquendo.
What are you going to tell Albert? Hit away. Give me a break. You're wondering Edmonds has 4 stolen bases.
I just was guessed. He did play for 4 major league clubs in the Cubs. Florida, Atlanta, Cleveland, and Colorado.
Scott Rolen is on deck. Pujols has been quiet tonight. 0 for 3. Pair of groundouts to short. He's also fly to center. He's 1 for 1 against this right-hander, Spire. Albert, high fly ball, center field. And it's caught against the wall. Kapler brought it in. And back to first goes Edmonds. Boy, he was playing deep and got it at the wall.
We have a tendency to play much deeper here to begin with. So he really didn't have that far to go back on the ball. Almost wonder if you see this line drive, it really did appear that it was going to be caught. And Edmonds went to second base. You almost wonder if he would have gone halfway or get someplace to where come back and tag up and easily end up at second base.
I can see where his point was too, and your point. Either way,
yeah,
it's kind of a tough decision.
It is a tough decision.
Because if it goes off the wall and he's at second, he could score. Rolen may have untied this one. How far is it going to go? Gone! Home run, Rolen. 2-run shot. His second home run on the night. A bomb to left. Wow! A 2-run home run this time for Scott Rolen.
Boy, there was no doubt about this one. I think it was completely over the left field stands and up on that tower up there.
Oh, man.
Boy, down and in. He drops a bad head, and how far would it go? I think it goes up on top. Up just the back row. Just the back row. I want to see that measurement. 347 down the line. How about at least another 80?
Oh, at least. That's one of the furthest shots we've seen at this ballpark. Man, did that get out in a hurry, too. Here's Ivan Cruz, the pinch hitter.
And how about this crowd again, which is about 90% Cardinal fans.
Cruz, deep right field. Did they go back to back? Yes! Back-to-back home runs for the second time tonight.
Cruz hit 35 home runs this year to lead the minor leagues in that department. 100 RBIs. Earlier had a game-winning base hit off of Alfonseca in the 13th inning, but his first home run here, and he has serious power, and he showed a little bit of it right there.
Lead is 3. It's 6-3. All home runs. Deep left field. Off the wall. And Renteria is digging for 2.
How about Petrick looked like a catcher trying to go after that, and I don't mean to be disrespectful to some very athletic catchers, but he did not look good on that line drive.
Spires getting lit up.
Getting turned all around, doesn't even get anywhere near it, and it caroms off the wall. And Edgar, he's got 2 for 4 here again tonight.
A win here means the magic number goes down to 4. Ringhausen is up and warming up. Having some fun down there. Brings in Mike Matheny. He's been hit tonight. He struck out swinging his last at bat. He's also flied to center. We have seen some home runs here tonight.
Dave Beers warming up.
5 home runs for the Cardinals. 2 by Scott Rolen. Good piece of hitting here by Matheny. Fair ball. Renteria is going to score. Matheny is digging for 2. He's got a double. Back-to-back doubles after the back-to-back home runs. It's 7-3 Cards. Matheny the RBI, number 32. Our game summary, all home runs first inning. That was Petrick. Second inning, the Cardinals would go back-to-back. Tino Martinez, Edgar Renteria. In a rain delay. In the 4th, Scott Rolen would unload a solo home run. In the 7th, here come the Colorado Rockies. Petrick his second to tie it up. And in the 9th, Rolen. A mammoth shot. And then Cruz back-to-back. And Mike Matheny adds a double, a slicing double down the right field line. And that's the only RBIs here tonight without a home run. But Roland's got 2 of them, and it's 7-3 Cards. They've knocked Spire out of the ballgame.
They tried to go another inning, the 9th inning, after a 1-2-3 8th inning, and Spires really got roughed up here.
Well, the Cardinals do some damage here in the 9th. 7-3 St. Louis. Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Net has been brought to you by Bud Light. For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down. Make it a Bud Light. Cardinals with back-to-back home runs here in the top of the 9th. Rolen and Ivan Cruz. Then back-to-back doubles. Renteria and Mike Matheny. And the Redbirds have played it 4 here in the 9th and lead it 7-3.
And it all started with a walk to Edmonds. He came home on the 2-run bomb by Rolen, and then they proceeded to have 3 consecutive hits to knock out Spires.
And it brings in Victor Santos, Al.
And Santos, he pitched 2 innings last night, scoreless innings. Here's a guy that can't retire right-handed batters, right-hand pitcher. Lefties are batting .194 against him, right-handers .404. He was a starter at AAA and came up on July 31st, and he's 0-4.
Here's Kerry Robinson. Santos actually made his start on Sunday, only lasted an inning and 2/3 and took the loss, gave up 6 runs. Kerry's hitting .256. A change up, and it's 0-2. Matheny at second, Vina on deck. A win tonight, magic number goes down to 4. Houston won 3-1 over Milwaukee. No balls and 2 strikes on Kerry Robinson. 1-2. Rick White is in line for a victory here tonight. They're scoreless 8th.
There he is.
Got to feel good to go against your former mates and have a chance to do that. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Smallest crowds that we've ever seen. As the Rockies in their 10th year. Boy, they led the major leagues in attendance for the first few years. And the remnants of this crowd that wasn't very big to begin with is mostly Cardinal fans.
It was an odd feeling last night down to that final out for Colorado, and the majority of the fans were on their feet, were in that Cardinal red.
Yep. And you can hear just the talk from the from the stands. It's all encouragement for Kerry Robinson or Cardinal batters.
Here's a 2-2. Robinson sticks the bat out. Long way to go for Kepler. It's in left. And the play is made is by Petrick. Kepler was playing in deep center. That's 2 fly ball outs by Kerry Robinson for the second out here in the top of the ninth.
Either one of them were ball was driven, so he's got to utilize his legs and his running speed.
Vina's had a tough night, but he made a great play. The defensive play of the game thus far. On the outfield grass, and a ball that was hit sharply. Threw a man out from his knees. That was Todd Zeal.
Let's see if he can't pick up his 50th RBI.
He's flied out twice, hit into a double play, grounded out. He's 0 for 4. Drew is on deck, and Edmonds is in the hole. He started us with a walk in this inning. One ball, 1 strike. Dave Beers has been up and throwing in the Cardinal bullpen. Juan Uribe is set to lead things off in the bottom of the ninth for the Rockies. Vina, the opposite way, and a base hit. That'll score Mike Matheny. Vina's looking too. He's in there. 8-3 St. Louis.
And there's the 50th RBI for Fernando.
Cardinals now with 5 runs here in this 9th inning. Here's J.D. Drew.
He closes the book on Spires. He's responsible for all 5 of them.
Cardinals had a 7-run 8th last night, capped off by the Martinez grand slam, and here tonight they've got 5 in the 9th. Did J.D. add to that? Some chance of Drew here at Coors Field. Eight to 3 Cards. Ground ball, weakly hit to second. The Cardinals are done here in the top of the 9th, but they played 5. Scott Rolen, 2 home runs here tonight. He untied the ball game. It's 8-3. Tonight's play of the game is brought to you by Bud Light. 8-3 our scores. We move to the bottom of the 9th. here in Denver. The Bud Light play of the game for the great taste. It won't fill you up and never lets you down. Make it a Bud Light. No doubt about it. The second home run for Scott Rolen here tonight unties the ball game. The Cardinals played 5 in the ninth and 2 on that swing by Scott Rolen.
If this holds up and that's a game winner, it would be still 10 different players in the last 12 wins, with Edmonds and Rolen twice getting game-winning RBIs.
Boy, Rolen 2 home runs tonight, now 10 since arriving in St. Louis. Dave Veers, the former closer of the Rockies and former closer for the Cards, will try to finish this one out. Not a save situation. 8-3 is our score. Juan Uribe will lead things off, followed by a pinch hitter, then the top of the order, and Gabe Kapler.
You know, it would have been nice for Finley to get the win last night. Would have been nice for Andy Bennis to get the win tonight. But both those veterans will tell you there's a bigger mission at hand, and that's knocking those magic numbers down.
Man on deck is Greg Norton. He'll be the pinch hitter. Uribe is 2 for 3. Well, how good is Scott Rolen? He's been something else.
Well, he's got a chance to be just a very special player. Rookie of the year, 97 National League.
Over the head of Rolen, base hit, fair ball down into the corner. And Uribe has himself a 3-hit night. Robinson will get it back in. Uribe is 3 for 4, leadoff double here in the ninth for Colorado.
And very quickly, this could become a save situation, so we'll see if Isringhausen gets up. See where this pitch is. Kind of stays up over the middle of the plate a little bit and hit hard over the head of Rolen down in the left field corner.
Here's Greg Norton.
You know, Norton, pretty good hitter, but he has been so stymied by the Cardinals. 1 for 21 versus the Cardinals. His only career hit for St. Louis prior to this series was a homer that came June the 8th, 2001 here in Denver. And this year he's 0 for 1.
That was against Mike Timlin. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Remember when he was with the White Sox, where he was hitless facing the Cardinals in interleague play.
Uribe at second after the leadoff double, the 1-1. Low and away. 2 balls and a strike. Kapler is on deck. Cardinals got 2 in the second, 1 in the fourth, and 5 in the ninth.
Sitting .234 as a pinch hitter with 2 home runs, 1 grand slam. And he's one of 9 National League players with 2 grand slams this season.
Twice the Cardinals here tonight had back-to-back home runs.
And 5 home runs on the day for the Cardinals, and 3 for the Rockies.
The ninth inning saw a pair of home runs and 3 doubles for the Redbirds. They busted out. Now it's first and second, nobody out. With a walk to Norton. That's the last thing that Veers wanted to do, is walk a man, and it's first and second, nobody out. Here's Kapler. He's got some pop.
See if he doesn't hit into a triple play for us. That would go along with the 8 home runs.
Kapler came in hitting .302 this year with the Rockies. And .293 this month.
I got to believe that Isringhausen is not available. Crudale and Klein are warming up.
Yep. Cool night here in Denver.
You don't have to ice your arm down.
No balls and 2 strikes. Good pitch. The Cardinals have been extremely careful with Jason Isringhausen this year.
Yeah, and You know, at times when he has gone down, it took about 2 weeks to recover, so you don't have that time period to flirt with.
Line drive into left field, falls for a base hit. So the bases are loaded. And it brings in Petrick, who has homered twice here tonight. On an 0-2 pitch, Kapler sticks the bat out and gets a base hit. Bases loaded, nobody out.
And it looks like they're going to stick with him, but there's a splitter, but it's just hanging up there, not falling down, and hit hard to left field to load the bases. Trudell and Klein, but just the way that Duncan went out there, they're going to stick with Dave Beers.
You've got to be careful here. Even though there is a 5-run lead, you've still got to go through Todd Helton and Larry Walker. Petrick will be the hitter with the bases loaded, nobody out here in the bottom of the ninth, and he is 3 for 4 with a double and 2 home runs. It can make it interesting.
Well, you never, as a manager, you never are, you know, you're always pushing, score more runs in this ballpark. You never have a secure lead. Especially when you're talking about you're going to have to face Helton and Walker. But here's the key man right now.
See if Dave can't get the double play. Strike one to Petrick. A final now, Oakland over Anaheim, 7-4. 8th inning. San Francisco leading Los Angeles in LA 4-3. No balls and a strike on Petrick. Bases loaded. Oof, what a play there by Matheny. 1-1.
Just come to expect it. You know, nobody better than Mike Matheny blocking that ball in the dirt. As a pitcher, you have to have the right to throw balls in the dirt with runners on base, particularly third base, and every pitcher has extreme confidence in Mike that he'll get the job done and block it.
Best you've ever seen at doing that?
I think so. Bases loaded, not much success.
No
It's been
grand
his
slams.
night.
Pulls behind with the ball and 2 strikes. Now he had Kapler at 0-2. Could put him away. It's 1-2 here on Petrick. The win here tonight, magic number to 4, and the Cardinals would pick up win number 88. Two and 2. And the count, opponents hitting 167, behind 340.
Well, that's when he really has the freedom to let that splitter, let it go. Behind the count, becomes a little more predictable with the fastball.
The 2-2. Now it's a full count with the bases loaded, nobody out. Petrick with 2 home runs tonight to go along with a double. Todd Helton is on deck. Then Larry Walker.
A 1-ball, 2-strike advantage. And he's run it full.
And he missed. The second walk issued by Beers. Now the tying run comes to the plate.
Got to go with Steve Klein now.
Klein has allowed 1 home run to a left-handed hitter this year. That's it. And Steve Klein is going to be the man to try to close this one out. Beers just didn't have it. 2 walks, a base hit, and also a double. So a single and a double and 2 walks. It's 8-4. Cards on top. Appearance number 61 for Steve Klein here tonight. You go back to when the strike date was finally settled, Al. He is unscored upon. Of course, he was the player rep. A lot of things that were on his mind. He was getting some hate mail by fans, and you could tell he was not the same pitcher out there. But since then, since that has been settled, he's been the Steve Klein of old. He has not allowed an earned run since August 30th. That's what we're talking about right there.
Came in yesterday for 2 pitches, got his only man. Didn't have any chance to thank him for picking up my lunch check yesterday. Dick Albert and myself and my wife. picked up our check.
Here's Helton. He's trying to tie it up. Here's a situation, nobody out, bases loaded. Helton and Walker still to go in this ball game. He's 2 for 4 with a double and a single. Close to a 400 hitter here at Coors Field is Todd Helton. 4 for 13 against Klein. 1 ball, 1 strike. Helton tonight, double to right center, grounded to the catcher, grounded to first, and singled to center.
370 average. Pretty typical for him.
Hit sharply to Bina. There's 1. How about 2? Double play. That's big. A run does score, but it's a double play, and now Colorado is down to their final out. And a home run by Walker still could not tie this ball game up.
Well, you'll be more than happy to trade 1 run for 2 outs.
You got it.
And also, with first base open, you know, you've got a little bit of breathing room. You would not necessarily would you want to pitch around Walker and bring up the tying run to the plate again, but it gives you the opportunity to do that. Larry Walker last time up, he struck out and really looked poor against Facero on his breaking ball.
That was 3 pitches. Up the middle. Renteria. Magic number down to 4. Cardinals hold on for the win. 5 runs in the 9th for St. Louis. 2 home runs for Rolen. 8-5 our final. Next telecast will be Friday night for Al. I'm Dan. Midwest Sports Report comes your way now.